Hey everybody, thank you very much for joining me again for Amazon Sellers Breaking News. Amazon Sellers Breaking News, what Amazon sellers get to learn from our 10,000 foot view here at Rosenbaum Famularo, the law firm behind AmazonSellersLawyer.com. Karen, thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Now, the compliment we hear most often is that we are available to speak with sellers, which is what this firm was founded on. So if you have any issues or any concerns at your seller's account, you can call us and speak with me or a member of our team. Also, fully 1/3 of our business comes from referrals of prior clients having more issues, and also the forums. And as far as I'm aware, we have the largest depository of free information for Amazon sellers anywhere on earth. So let me get to our 5 breaking news stories. Number 1, policy violation suspensions. Policy violation suspensions. Now, sometimes if you don't know exactly what policy Amazon is accusing you of violating, it's easy to figure out. Other times it's a lot more challenging, and we're seeing a lot more of the challenging type. And what we are finding as a really good rule of thumb is to start your deep dive investigation, Amazon lingo, your deep dive investigation by reading your buyer messages. See what the buyers are saying about your products, what their issues are with you. It gives really, really good clues as to what issues you need to address in your plan of action. And again, when you write that plan of action, search our website for the instructions, download the free copy of our book. You want to write a plan of action that is concise, persuasive, and positive. Positive. Don't fall on the sword. Don't admit to doing anything wrong. And you can learn more by visiting our website, and you could download a free copy of the book. Okay, second news of the day, we're seeing more and more of claims against sellers when their products cause damages. There are several different types of legal claims that Amazon sellers need to be aware of. First are the legal claims that Amazon may assert against you, and these don't really happen all that often. But indemnity, defense, and hold harmless. Those are the claims that Amazon has against you. Indemnity means you're going to reimburse Amazon for any damages it pays. Defend, meaning you will pay a lawyer to defend Amazon's interests. You can sometimes use your lawyer to do this. Other times there's a conflict and you can't, but the cost of defending another entity could be pretty high. And hold harmless. That means that you will hold Amazon harmless, that you will cover any losses that Amazon might incur if your product should harm somebody or someone else's property. Now, let's say you sell a product and it causes damages to somebody's home. It could happen from a water leak. There was that famous battery incident with a hoverboard a couple of years ago, and a house burned down or allegedly burnt down. When an insurance company steps in and pays that homeowner, that insurance company gets the claims that that homeowner had. It's called subrogation, and we've seen insurance companies go after sellers. Now, we have been extremely successful in negotiating those claims down to pennies and even less than pennies on the dollar, okay? But that's another claim Amazon sellers need to be aware of, subrogation, and also damages to the person or the person's property directly. Now, I recommend every single seller comply with at least one aspect of your contract with Amazon, and that is having liability coverage, okay? I strongly recommend Ashlyn Haddon out in Indiana. She specializes in insurance for people in e-commerce, and absolutely positively get product liability insurance. And Ashlyn, if you're watching, I certainly expect you to share and like this video. Product liability insurance is generally very, very low. The premiums are low. You're supposed to have it for Amazon. We've seen them cross-examine sellers about it during arbitrations, and it's a really good idea for sellers. Number one, they will provide the lawyers to defend you, which will save you a ton of money. You won't have to pay me out of your pocket. And number two, if there are any damages, the insurance company takes care of it. So absolutely, absolutely the right thing to do. Third story of the day, and I reported on this either yesterday or the day before. Jason, thank you very much for Ashlyn Haddon, Hadden. Thank you for joining us, Raul. Really appreciate it. Third story, notice dispute at Amazon.com, which is the email address that we have been sending IP complaint retractions to for a pretty long period of time. Their response has slowed down dramatically as Amazon's Project Zero has been gaining steam and momentum. So this is what we know so far, and our knowledge is always growing and changing. Lisa, thank you very much for joining us and posting Ashlyn's full name. What we know, or what we think we know, is that if a complaint was asserted through the Project Zero system, the retraction has to come through Project Zero. If the complaint did not come through Project Zero and you're not getting any traction with notice dispute, you can also ask the complainant, the rights owner who made the complaint, to withdraw it, trying to use the Project Zero system. So Amazon is a constantly changing place to do business. And what we're reporting on today is notice dispute continues to slow down. Maybe Amazon is getting rid of it. Maybe they're not. Project Zero is absolutely ramping up. And if you receive an IP complaint, a rights owner complaint through Project Zero, and you negotiate a retraction, which is what we do every day, then you want that retraction to also go through the Project Zero system. Okay, speaking of new Amazon emails, if you've been selling on Amazon for any significant period of time, you know their email addresses change, shut down, new ones are created. And when we hit a brick wall, lots of times we'll write to Amazon's legal department. Usually we don't get a written response back, but it does loosen the works, and then things start to happen and we get sellers reinstated and ASINs reinstated. But Amazon's legal has created a new email address, and it's not the person that wrote back to us. It's not the lawyer who wrote back to us, which is why, Brandon, thank you very much for joining us, which is why I'm comfortable telling, like, I would never ever give someone's email address out without their permission, even if they work for Amazon. I don't want to destroy the connections that we have. But a new email address for legal is CBP, Cat Brandon Peter -legal at Amazon.com. Aaron, thank you for joining us. So in all the different departments at Amazon, they seem to have waves of closing down email addresses, creating new ones. And this is just a new one we've received from Amazon recently. Okay, fifth story of the day. We're trying to do 5 stories, and then I'm going to talk to you about sellers fighting back. Fifth news story of the day is used sold as new. I didn't report upon the significant decrease in the used sold as new suspensions that we've seen, because last thing I want is to trigger Amazon to start doing more used sold as new, or for buyers to use this information against sellers. You know, we are here for sellers, 100% behind sellers, 100% behind private label sellers who create their own brands. So there was a decrease in the used sold as new suspensions, but that seems to be reversing a bit. And we're seeing an increase again, not a tremendous increase, but a slight increase in the used sold as new suspensions. If you receive one of these suspensions, you need to write a killer, persuasive, concise plan of action. And in order to do that, you have to do a deep dive and try and figure out, why did that consumer make a complaint? Now, the vast majority of Amazon sellers do not sell used products. You're all selling new products, retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, buying from traditional wholesalers. You're selling new products, but maybe the packaging has changed. Maybe the package inserts have changed. Maybe your packaging or something has become discolored. Usually there's some rationale behind it. A lot of times buyers are just trying to scam you into free products, but really do a deep dive, look at your buyer messages and see if you can identify what the issues are. Okay, those are the 5 breaking news stories for today, Tuesday, June 18th, 2019. And now I want to talk to you again about sellers fighting back against brands. Brands make counterfeit complaints every day, and a vast majority of them are absolutely nonsense because you're selling genuine products. If your account has been affected, if your income has been affected because some brand made a baseless counterfeit complaint because they wanted to raise prices, control the listing, contact me for a free consultation. Also tomorrow for our webinar Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern time, right here on Facebook Live, Travis Stockman, our managing attorney for litigation, and me will be talking specifically about sellers fighting back, sellers' rights when it comes to brands making baseless counterfeit complaints against you. Okay, so watch our webinar tomorrow at 12 noon. Check our videos. Look at our website, amazonsellerslawyer.com. And that is the news of today. So sellers out there, thank you very much for watching. If you learned something from this video, please like it, please share it, and please tune in tomorrow at noon for our webinar regarding sellers fighting back against brands who make baseless counterfeit complaints.